the Summoner's Rift. Seconds until minions spawn. Minions have spawned.
Alright guys, welcome back. Boom. NA server monthly tournament. I had some stream troubles getting set up here joining the game. A little bit late getting into this, but I'm going to take a look at the teams really quick here. Both teams have a pretty decent turn gauge. Mayo and Nut are both strong in the jungle. However, at the beginning of Season 3, we find that Nautilus hasn't really found a comeback this season. It was really strong at the end of Season 2. We're finding some nerfs with this hook in his ultimate and the damage and the scaling. We find that Nautilus kind of fell off towards the end of Season 2 and wasn't highly favored. However, in the mid lane right now, we look like LV is having a great matchup against Lux. Lux with the minor CS effort, starting with a Doran's Ring. Trying to get that extra HP to deal with the burst from LB. However, late game, if LB should be strong enough to get to that back lane, to take out either Lux or MF before the fight even starts, this side is going to be extremely one-sided no matter which team has the better hard engagement. Very interesting volley support in the bot lane. That's something I've seen a long time in the book, Dave. By the way, I guess I skipped the pleasantries. My name is Evan. I go by EasyXSin. I am a writer for Boom for esports. Also an avid gamer. Love League of Legends. We have Mayo coming mid here. Not up the Wraith camp. Mayo coming in, missing the snare on Mayo. Lux is going to get out of that one. Very interesting combo see bot lane with Draven versus MF. MF definitely has the advantage in range. However, Draven with his Q, if he can catching those Qs, he's definitely going to have a major damage advantage if he happens to duel with MF. However, we see first blood going over to not mid lane. Lux.
User disconnected from your channel.
We see Volley trying to take a move in on MF.
User joined your channel.
He is currently solo bot. Oliver to play a little more aggressive right now as Soraka is back. They can get a little bit. We're going to switch up and take a look quick at Darius, who is out-leveled and outmatched by Nid right now. Going for the pull, however, Nid is going to take a great advantage in that fight. Not going to be able to finish the kill. Can she land a spear? No. A 39-22 CS advantage in the top lane. You know, a big thing in Season 3 that we're seeing a lot of the pro teams doing is getting away from the traditional boots and 3 pots or cloth 5 and are going for a more crystalline flask, a bigger sustain in lane. And it's helping a lot of champions stay in lane a lot more. And against a champion like Darius, who generally starts with a lot of armor penetration, has a lot of harassment with his Q, with the additional damage from his Q at longer ranges, with the passive. A lot of champs like that were extremely dangerous in Season 2 aren't having quite nearly the effect with champs starting with so much sustain. LB taking some good harass from Lux. Surprisingly, LB being such a bursty champ. I mean, so is Lux. You get a great combo with the QWE and the ultimate from Lux for the kill mid on LB. And that's going to set LB back a lot. Any advantage that Lux or any other squishy AP mid champ can get on a bursty assassin like LB is going to be tremendous in the late game. Rocka back in the bot lane, slightly under-leveled. However, we still see Volatile 5 and Draven under-leveled as well, as we see a very significant double CS advantage for MF. That's the benefit having that Soraka in lane, still starting boots and pots versus a Draven who is starting with a Doran's Blade and having Volley who has no or sustain for his champion in lane. Makes it a very aggressive early damage lane. However, with MF with the boots, pots, with the Soraka sustain, making them very dangerous in the bot lane and getting to a great lead early. Look at the overall team fights. Nid, interestingly enough, has a terrible team fight, but if she is able, which she currently is against Darius, to get that lead and be able to continue to split push, having those 4-on-5 advantages where you can land a good engage with Nautilus's ultimate into Lux's snare, into MF's ultimate, it's going to be an extremely big advantage, even if they are undermanned with Nid split pushing. However, with the giant lead, I feel that Nid's going to have a very, very strong presence in both her lane and if she chooses to roam. She's not landing the pull on Draven. Draven going to have to bust the flash, and Lux going to pick up another kill on LB. Lux is going to snowball that mid lane now with 2 kills and an assist over LB. Nearly a double CS advantage. Nearly 10 minutes into the game. That is a huge advantage. With that blue buff, Lux is going to be able to run away with this lane. I think Not really needs to pay some attention. Mayo trying to make some plays on that mid lane. Mayo moving his way there now, but with no LB, Mayo's not going to be much. Level 5 moving in on a level blind Lux. Gonna land the QW combo but get out of there as fast as he can. I think that's a very smart move because I feel that if Lux been able to land the full combo and had her ultimate that time, Mayo would have been dead as well. And being level 5, so under leveled as well out of the jungle, putting Lux at nearly level 10. a gold advantage. Red team, which is huge. Oh, and not passing on that red buff to Nid. That is a very dangerous move for Darius in the top lane. He's already behind. Have Nid with that red buff. It's gonna good chance of forcing Darius out of lane. LB trying to grab a Doran's Ring to get some HP on Lux, who already has her Chalice completed. Quite a bit of magic resist in that mid lane. Same time, we see Nid in the top lane with that red buff, level up on Darius. See Mayo diving on Soraka in the bot lane. That's quickly going to be thwarted as he takes down a quarter of his HP from an MF Q combo. Head LB getting good damage down on Lux. Draven landing a few Qs on MF, having to miss one of the slow. Mayo getting caught mid, and it's going to be another kill over to Lux as she hits level 10 and picks up the double buff. Trying to pick up the kill hit, and Lux is gonna get out with near. Oh, we see Draven. Rock and MF Volley's gonna make a move here, but when he does, Not's gonna be in the bot lane. Draven's flash is already down. The Nautilus passive. MF ult is gonna pick up the kill for MF. Having some problem with my mic.
Rampage.
Look, Mayo's gonna get the snare on the Nautilus. Volley's gonna chase after him. Gonna miss his slow. Not's gonna get out alive. Looks protection, but not out. Mayo's gonna move. Four-level advantage. Stop Lux from push. Same top lane with a 2-level. Darius. Run on Lux, but with 3-level advantage, have some problems too. Level 1 versus a level 2 ult. Huge gold lead. That gold is falling on the champs that needed the most. 4 kills and SMF with 100 and a kill. Did with
Hello,
one and one.
Can you hear me? Right, I thought I'd come say it to you, it's always more fun if you can cast with 2 people instead of 1.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, I'm still having problems with the soundboard, but...
It's alright, you just cut out sometimes when you go a bit quieter. But yes, indeed, what you were saying, it is quite impressive how far ahead Lux is pulling in terms of TS and kills. And, well, Misfortune is just doubling Draven's farm as if it's nothing. So I do believe we might see something absolutely strong coming from the blue team to try and take the win this game.
Really hard when you have tanky jungle like not burning his flash to get over there. Other kill on the spot. Having Draven waste his flash. The lead is...
The lead's quite big.
7k gold lead, 8. Extremely hard to come back.
Especially when we look where the gold lead is. It is mostly on Lux, who's over almost 3,000 gold ahead of LeBlanc. While LeBlanc is usually a strong champion on her own against a team with so much CC, especially out of Lux and Nautilus, it is quite hard for her to get the damage off.
Amazing also, you look for a champ like LeBlanc, like Katarina, to get that early farm lead, that early roam around and get the kill or behind.
I'm not entirely sure, but I missed team select. I think LeBlanc was actually picked up before Lux. And if that was the case, Lux was an absolutely brilliant pick against LeBlanc.
Obviously, someone who has some experience with Lux to be able to outplay assassin-based.
Well, the problem with the assassin-based AD of LeBlanc is that pre-level 6 she is quite weak, as the cooldown on her dash is very high. So if Lux got a gank early game to help her snowball aim, to help her get her ultimate before LeBlanc did, etc, etc, it is quite understandable that she is beating LeBlanc. But as you said earlier, Nidalee is once again taking red buff.
Very interesting move. I mean, Nautilus has... I don't want to say he's fallen behind because their team is quite ahead, but in terms of if it were to be a very standard game where jungles are both relatively equal, yes, not giving up those buffs, however, has put mid so much further ahead. Darius top lane having that extra flow from the rift afterwards.
Well, especially because Nautilus doesn't really need it, seeing as though he has his pull and his slow. Oh, but this is probably very dead Lux. Oh my god.
Still don't know. The Ignite's gonna finish her, but they did not have
the Ignite finished her
front to kill that.
No, Nautilus's ultimate was excellently placed there and actually pulled all 3 of them out of the fight.
Excellent move by Nautilus to catch all 3 of them, almost saving Lux. The Ignite.
If it wasn't for Darius's bleeds and LeBlanc's Ignite, she would not have died.
I like a lot of the champ. Darius Draven stamps it on top of that. You have the passive of the poison, passive from Draven's crit strike. Have the Ignite on top of that.
Just look at the damage that Nidalee's doing onto LeBlanc. It is.
In any case, where you'd be able not so much get Lux the kills, but to be able to pick up a first blood, say on a LeBlanc or a Cat, where you can roam 1-2 level advantage, come back in lane, WE combo to get the.
Yes, but if you look at the style Nidalee's playing, you can actually recognize what Stanley from TPA did in the World Finals as Nidalee against Moscow 5. The same trendy force for tankiness / damage and overall tanky build. She has been very effective in completely shutting down to Darius.
Talking about tanky, found kid who went in Mogs, Frozen Heart. Oh, it may not do the most damage. Players aren't, one
But she
hit
is
wonder,
also
but
just never ever dying.
her dies and she can split push.
Oh yes. I mean, Nidalee's level advantage is also just she has the highest level in the game, along with Lux. And they are 2 levels ahead of, Darius and LeBlanc. And those 2 levels are just
3-man gang up on
absolutely
Darius.
massive. Nautilus is
Gonna
tanking
miss,
the turrets.
she's gonna miss
He
the
is-
snare, but it's gonna be more than enough anyways to get.
Nautilus does not care about turrets. He just has a Ruby Crystal, he has his own shield, and LeBlanc shield, which mitigates most of the damage that the turret actually did. I'm not entirely sure what Maokai can do to stop this push right now.
Not much Mayo. Early game as well, Mayo was level 5 to a Lux who was level 9. I mean, barely hold the lane when you're at under level. Mayo is a champ, very, very dependent on getting those early ganks. As we know, it's the longest
Yes.
time to boost bots and
Well, with
So big.
the Season 3 change, and especially with the change to the Oracles that it only lasts 5 minutes, champions such as Maokai are, I would say, a bit less effective in the jungle now, because they were reliant on getting that early Oracles, getting that early vision advantage, to be able to just gank constantly. Now, unless your support and your top and your mid is willing to spend a lot of gold on pink wards, it is
that
going to be...
early in the game, if you were a jungler and you got that early Oracle, generally it would pay off into the mid. You don't have to get killed. However, now that it's 400 gold in 5 minutes, you find that 400 gold is setting you back further than it.
That 400 gold is an extra null magic mantle, or just an extra 5 wards. It's an interesting change. Actually I personally am not really enjoying the fact that they nerfed the oracles. Although it was quite frustrating if you're in a game and there's like an enemy, for example, Shen jungling. He buys an oracles at the 8-minute mark and he just never loses it again. And you have an absolute vision disadvantage. This might be Nidalee caught off, but she actually manages to bounce away. Darius goes for the ghost, and she flashes out of the apprehend. That was absolutely amazing. Because of her passive, she might even get away. She is going to get away.
His passive is definitely slowing it down. Low cooldown on her jump. That's amazing. She even missed the first jump over the wall, but with the cooldown under force, and again get away. Even with the Darius slow with 5 stacks.
Look what she has though. It's the Iceborne Gauntlet, and basically all the items for Frozen Mallet. She is so incredibly tanky right now. Especially when she finishes all that, stops the recall, but Maokai knows better than to actually engage Lux one-on-one. Rakai is caught out, and she does have to use her flash. Which is a good job by LeBlanc. But I'm just afraid that into late game, SPSFLK is going to be unable to pull this back.
We see Volley getting caught out. Missed the snare, but the nip from
Snare
not
is
going to be enough.
No, Volibear does have his charge to escape, and his roar to excuse me, and his roar to slow down the enemy champions.
Take a look how that mid lane ended up. We have 238 of build power on Lux, haunting guys. That is a
And
huge.
yes, indeed. Especially with the teams, the cooldown reduction, the mana regen, and just the fact that she has all parts for a death cap will make Lux absolutely lethal.
hard because you have MF and Lux both in the back line that are going to have those AoE ults.
And if
And
we
I
look,
don't think they have the ability to get to the back line to stop.
and if we look at how much gold they have after that dragon, you see that Nidalee and Nautilus both have 1.2, 1.3k, Lux as well, and that Misfortune even has 1.8k in the bank, which will translate into an Infinity Edge once she recalls.
I thought it was very interesting to see Raven volley combo to start with, and I think that they really missed the opportunity to volley with his charge in the slow. I think if they would have been able to have gotten a kill on two, I think Draven really could have had a huge advantage in the bot lane, but not being able to do that, the Soraka sustain.
No, but especially if they would have been able to get on the Soraka, who is actually, she herself is quite weak early game. If you see Soraka use heal on the carry, you know, oh, she can't buff the armor again for about 20 seconds. If you can catch him off at that point with the slow from Volibear, to flip from Volibear, it would be absolutely lethal. But look at the damage that Lux just did. She nearly completely killed LeBlanc with a WQ ult combo.
Oliver, look at HP that is gone, and Nid's gonna pick up the kill there on it.
Nid is just on a rampage. And Ignite picks up the kill on Maokai. Meanwhile, Lux finishes off Darius. Yes,
Talk about the gold advantage, but when you look at the actual items, you see MF with an IE, a Bloodthirster, Freeze, and the Gauntlet, and then you look over at Draven, who is just now finishing his Bloodthirster.
It's a pity because the Draven that gets off to a good start is probably one of the most lethal AD carries in the game.
Oh, most definitely. He probably has one of the strongest, if not the strongest, one-on-one dueling of the.
Of all AD carries with his Q active, he actually has the highest level 1 damage.
I will say though, it was very interesting. I was perusing a number of streams the other day and looking at some of the new builds with some of the new items. I saw a game where TSM's Chaos was able to have 500 damage on Corki, build that he had used. I thought it was ridiculous. Scary. Other than, say, for instance, the Raven, to be able to do that much damage auto attack, but.
And just remember Corki's passive, 10% of that is Delta's true damage every auto attack.
A lot of damage.
That is a lot of damage.
There's a lot of damage on top of true damage.
Indeed. Even the Maokai, who's somewhat tanky, who has the Nectron Cloak, is just taking massive heaps of damage off of just Lux's spells that haven't even procced her passive. And look at that, that was just absolutely decimated in seconds there.
Not quite sure what she's doing with the amplifying tome. I would take an assumption it's saying with champions like Lux that have lower AP ratios than most, like to stack a lot of magic penetrating. Wow, she is doing so much damage.
That is then probably, yeah, you are probably right. It is probably going to go in a Void Staff.
Nidalee is just as tanky with that Gauntlet.
I would say Nidalee is currently even tankier than Nautilus is.
Definitely, Nautilus surprisingly only has 69 armor and 8 magic resist. Nidalee's nearly 150 armor and over 100 magic resist. She's a...
But I think this might well be game.
I see Oliver coming in behind by himself.
They just took the inhibitor without any resistance. And I assume Misfortune is just going to push down bottom inhib as well. Draven just respawned as a LeBlanc, but the Fortune with the Infinity Edge and Bloodthirster and Zeal is just going to lof. Well, if we look at Maokai and LeBlanc's builds, I think it's safe to assume this game's over.
Oh yes, very much so. 30 minutes in and we're looking.
Are they actually spelling something out, or
Oh,
is it
spamming
just?
wards.
Are we actually spamming something, spelling something out, or is it just a random let's put words down? Well, I do believe this is the end of that.
Yeah, I definitely feel it's safe to say that is a good game. Block selling out her inventory. Selling out his inventory. All wards.
They are actually going to manage to fill up the entire base with wards.
Never quite seen this much spamming of wards. The combination of snowmen and
I'm disappointed that nobody has the gingerbreads. That would be even more. You could even play tic-tac-toe with wards. No, but if you just look at
extremely scrambled board.
if you just look at the goal difference, it is almost double right now. 28k to a 50k. Volibear is going to try and do
The 1v1 Baron at level 2.
yes, maybe. He just found Nidalee. That is probably not what he was expecting. Maokai has nothing that is going in and is just decimated.
Guy's gonna fall to 2 hits from him.
Yeah. That's Darius picked up by Nautilus. He is going to just die. Hang on, where did he go? Oh, he's running. Yeah, Misfortune picks him up. If we look back down, we can actually see that
Really extending
Blanc
just
is
a bit.
trying
Turf,
to-
I still think she's gonna be able to pick up the kill here. May go. Yes, she's gonna go down. But
she is actually dying.
the Lux is there to pick up the kill and the ace.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
I do believe that this is just going to be the final push. The second Misfortune looks at the inhibitor in a funny way, it is going to keel over.
Blue team's inhibitor has been destroyed.
And same will happen to the
Extremely
Nexus
quick.
turret.
He's gonna chunk this turret down.
Just look at the
Oh,
damage he
wow.
is doing to that turret. She's currently on how much AD is she on? She is on 289 AD. And she's even far from fully built. She doesn't have Baron buff. Imagine if she was fully built.
Back and bloodthirst, i.e. with the Phantom Dancer. Items into the still able to chunk 249 CS.
She has been farming like a boss.
Blue team's inhibitor has been destroyed.
That's the third inhibitor going down. And this is going to be the last turret of the game going down.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Taking a time to shout out to the Twitch.
Well, this was a valiant effort by SPSFLK to try and win. I do believe that jeswag was just too strong for them.
A little bit too far behind, a little too early, and really found a way to get back.
It just snowballed out of control.